"33-year-old Amanda Hearst is one of the heiresses to the Hearst publishing dynasty. She's the great-granddaughter of William Randolph Hearst, one of the first media moguls and one of the most influential figures of the 20th century. Citizen Kane, one of the greatest films of all time, was based on his life, although Hearst wasn't too happy about it. Although Amanda is drop-dead gorgeous, she's about the furthest thing from a celebrity debutante. While she has appeared as a model in such publications as Harper's Bazaar and Cosmopolitan, she's also worked as an associate editor at Marie Claire, but she's mostly stayed out of the media spotlight in favor of concentrating on an issue that's very important to her: inhumane puppy mills. She's been involved with the Humane Society since 2010, and she's been personally involved with multiple raids on these mills, which raise puppies for large chain pet stores, often in dangerous and unclean conditions. She's never considered doing reality TV, and you'll never see her throwing swanky celebrity-filled parties. Speaking to the New York Times, she said, "You can see how far it goes in the news when someone misbehaves, so I try to stay in line and not be a jerk." Virgin CEO Richard Branson has gone from independent record store chain owner in the 70s to multimedia conglomerate and billionaire today. He's also become known as an adventurer and philanthropist, but he won't be the face of Virgin for long. As he approaches retirement, his strategy is to make his children the faces of the brand, and daughter Holly has spent her entire life learning the ropes. However, 35-year-old Holly is not just another pretty face. The business philosophies instilled in her by her father have guided her throughout her life, and she regularly writes articles and blog posts on how to build a successful business culture. Among her most important pieces of advice: learn on the job, treat everyone as an equal, and surround yourself with great people, tenets she saw in action as her dad built Virgin. She's picked up Richard's passion for philanthropy as well, having spent time teaching at an orphanage in an impoverished region of Africa. And in case all of this isn't impressive enough, she's also a medical doctor. 34-year-old Ariana Rockefeller has one of the most intimidating last names on the planet. She's the daughter of David Rockefeller Jr., a fourth-generation member of one of the most influential banking families in history. However, Ariana has no desire to get into the family business. She's a fashion designer, and while her label bears her famous name, she has no intention of turning it into a lifestyle brand. Her first retail location opened in Soho in 2014, and the brand has slowly gained traction, which is just fine with Ariana. She says she's perfectly happy building her brand piece by piece, saying of the name of the label, "It certainly makes people take a look, but it kind of stops there. The clothes ultimately need to stand on their own." A very pragmatic attitude from a woman whose family patriarch, John D. Rockefeller, may be the single richest man of all time. Ivanka Trump was born into a life of luxury few of us can imagine, but it hasn't always been a walk in the park for the stunning 35-year-old. The daughter of businessman, former reality TV show host, and current US President Donald Trump was consumed with schooling for much of her early life, finishing her primary education at a strict boarding school before moving on to Georgetown University, and then the University of Pennsylvania, where she graduated cum laude with a bachelor's degree in economics. All the while, she was dabbling in modeling for publications like 17, Stuff, and Harper's Bazaar. But her own business took off in 2007 when she established Ivanka Trump Fine Jewelry, which today has its flagship retail location in Trump Tower in Manhattan. She's been involved in politics for as long as Donald, donating to Hillary Clinton's 2008 presidential campaign and endorsing Mitt Romney in 2012. And today she has an official role in the White House as an assistant to the president. Petra Ecclestone was born with a much more famous last name. She's the daughter of Bernie Ecclestone, the British billionaire and chief executive of Formula One, the organization behind the highest level of single-seat auto racing in the world. But Petra had no interest in following in her father's footsteps. She's had a lifelong ambition to be a fashion designer, and decided to make her name in menswear after finding the market for women's clothing to be too saturated. She's had some success with her men's label Form and an accessories line called Stark, but the lovely 28-year-old is best known for her near-constant appearances in the British tabloids. Controversy swirled around husband James in 2016, when his gold bullion firm was the subject of a massive raid conducted by British police, in which 12 people were arrested for money laundering offenses. All the more shocking considering the couple's ultra-lavish lifestyle. They own a fleet of high-end luxury cars and a $90 million mansion in Chelsea in the UK, and Petra recently put her Los Angeles residence up for sale. Known as the Manor, it's the former residence of the late TV producer Aaron Spelling, with 14 bedrooms, 27 bathrooms, and its own bowling alley. Valley. It's one of the most expensive private homes in the United States. Its current asking price is $200 million. Marta Ortega is the richest man in Europe, and by some estimates the second richest person in the world behind only Bill Gates, with a net worth of over $71 billion. He's the founder of Inditex Group, the world's largest fashion retailer, which owns the enormously popular Zara brand, among many others. His 32-year-old daughter Marta is poised to take over as the face of the company when her father retires, and she has just the look and business savvy to do it. Although she tries to keep a low profile and stay out of the media spotlight, her looks and fashion sense have made this an uphill battle. She's fond of her father's company's stylish designs, and the cameras just can't seem to stay away whenever she's out in public. But Marta isn't just being given the keys to the kingdom because she wears Zara remarkably well. She started off in the company as a teenager, stocking shelves and helping customers in retail locations, and she's worked her way up just like any dedicated employee. She's also an equestrian who specializes in show jumping, an interest she shares with her husband of 5 years, Spanish equestrian star Sergio Alvarez Moya. The strikingly beautiful Anna Shafer was born Anna Anisimov, and she has a more interesting story than most. Her father is Vasily Anisimov, a famous Russian metal magnate who worked his way up the industry in Soviet-era Russia to become one of the richest men in the country. With many holdings in aluminum, a notoriously corrupt sector of the Russian economy, the Anisimov family was bound to encounter trouble. And when Anna was 17 in 2000, her older half-sister was murdered, possibly as part of a business or political conspiracy, and Anna was sent along with her mother to live in the US. Anna's mother immediately struck it big in real estate and had ambitions to try to make a movie star out of Anna. But for much of her early 20s, Anna was more interested in partying hard on the New York social scene, earning a reputation as the Russian Paris Hilton. After cleaning up her act and dabbling in modeling and real estate, she ended up with a few movie roles after all, appearing in 6 independent films between 2010 and 2017. Another member of the Hearst clan, Lydia is the cousin of Amanda Hearst and the daughter of Patty Hearst, who as a teenager in the 1970s famously endured a kidnapping ordeal at the hands of terrorists, only to end up sympathizing and cooperating with her kidnappers. Lydia, now 32, came along much later in Patty's life, which remained interesting. When Lydia was a child, Patty would take her along to hang out on movie sets with her friend, director John Waters. This instilled a love of showbiz in Lydia from an early age, and she's been busy making a name for herself as an adult. She spent her early 20s modeling, shooting her first cover for the Italian version of Vogue, and she's modeled on the runway and in print ads for far too many top-name designers to list. She's also dabbled in journalism for the New York Post, and tried her hand at lifestyle blogging, and amassed an impressive resume as an actress in independent films. In August 2016, she married At Midnight host Chris Hardwick in a lavish Pasadena ceremony, with a star-studded guest list, including the likes of Olivia Munn, Sarah Silverman, Kristen Schaal, and Breaking Bad creator Vince Gilligan. British twins, the Barclay brothers, Frederick and Sir David, are 2 of the richest men in Britain, with an estimated £6.5 billion fortune. Their press holdings company owns many of the major newspapers in the UK, and their retail holdings, including Littlewoods and Woolworths, are nearly as profitable. Their aversion to the limelight is enough for them to be widely described as reclusive, but their stunning 28-year-old granddaughter Sophia doesn't have that problem. She's told Vanity Fair that she's always wanted to be an actress, and she's been trying to make her dream happen in New York while taking advantage of that legendary social scene for years. The Westminster-educated beauty shouldn't have much of a problem, since much of the family fortune was made in media, and being as photogenic as she is doesn't hurt either. Former New York Mayor Michael Bloomberg has interests in a number of highly profitable markets: global securities, mass media, and computer software. With a personal net worth of over $47 billion, he's been ranked by Forbes as the 8th richest person in the United States. He's got a lot of powerful friends, and his gorgeous 34-year-old daughter Georgina is likewise acquaintances with a number of the children of the rich and powerful. She's good friends with Ivanka Trump, appearing alongside her on the HBO documentary Born Rich, and she's a member of Friends of Finn, an animal rights organization headed by Amanda Hearst. Also, she runs in the same equestrian circles as Marta Ortega Perez. She's a professional, sponsored by Ariat International, and takes part in regular competition every season. She won the 2015 Grand Prix at the Winter Equestrian Festival in Florida, and helped the U.S. show jumping team win 2nd place at the FEI Nations Cup that same year. She might be an easygoing married mother who lives on a horse farm, but she's also a serious competitor, and the heiress to one of the richest empires in the U.S.